What is up, Heffas and friends? Welcome to another episode of Java and Journeys with Jillian. If you're new here to this channel, hey, how are you doing? Are y'all ready to go to New Orleans? Heffas, we are in the new year, and that is time to embrace new experiences, no matter how long the trip is. Y'all, I booked a last-minute flight. I'm going to be traveling over to New Orleans, and you all know that I have to take you with me. So what are we going to do when we land in New Orleans? Girl, we're going to enjoy all things Cajun and Creole, right? So we are going to check in to our hotel. Following, we are going to go over to Cochan Butchery. Y'all, I am so excited about Cochan Butcher. The food seems and sounds from looking at the menu so good. All the Cajun flavors that we know and love. I'm particularly excited about a few things that I saw online. So I'm curious to see if they have what is on their menu online at their actual restaurant. But y'all, they had this like black eyed pea chili. Come on now. I've never had that before. So I'm like, yes, fried shrimp, because we're in New Orleans. So how do you not get any seafood? And also mufletta, like check, check, and check. And y'all, following that, we're also going to go to Vue New Orleans to check out the view and the sights, all the way up from the top of the building at Vue, get a nice 360 view of New Orleans, try to get our Java on, and just all around enjoy our time in New Orleans, though it is brief, y'all. I'm only going to be in New Orleans for a quick 24 hours before heading over to Nashville, so buckle it up, Buttercup, and let's get on this caffeinated adventure. So Heffas, I have already made sure, because you all know my rule of thumb when you are traveling, that as soon as you get to the airport, you make it past security, you get through all that before you stop, and you get your Java, you get your little snacks, you get your magazine, something to read. Before you do all that, Heffa, make sure you go to your gate and that your flight is actually leaving from the gate that it says. We're all good to go. We're actually standing over by the gate, but I have a little bit over an hour to kind of kill at the moment. So, y'all, let's also talk about who we are flying today. So, girlies, we are on a budget today. We are going to be flying Breeze, which I'm not mad about it. And y'all, I have flown Breeze many a times, and I will tell you, for a budget airline, they are truly one of my favorites. And I think what I like most about Breeze is that, for the most part, I've never had issues on their flights in terms of like lack of cleanliness, the staff super friendly, and also it's just a comfortable, quick flight. So the last time I actually flew using Breeze was I think it was one of my visits actually to Orlando, because they used to have an Orange County to Orange County flight. And y'all, I'm sad to say that I think they got rid of that, which is super unfortunate, especially if you're someone who is a Disney head and maybe you like to take trips going back and forth between Disney World and Disneyland. So that's a little annoying that they got rid of that, because the flights were very cost efficient. And what I also like about Breeze is that they have, of course, like their different tiers of seats. So you can have like what Breeze has is their first class seating, which is nice. They have their extra legroom seating, which is just as good. Honey, honestly, I feel like you could just do the extra legroom seating and be good. But their first class is nice as well. And then also, of course, they have their standard seats. And so you get a good value no matter where, in terms of my opinion, from the past few times I've flown with Breeze. Now, honey, let me talk for a second about my flight. So I am actually leaving New Year's Day to go to New Orleans, and my flight was not too crazy expensive. It was actually pretty reasonable. The one thing, though, that got me, and I was like, Breeze girl, do you know this economy that we're in right now? So, of course, like I go through, I pay for my flight and all that. And I was like, okay, well, do I want to treat myself in the new year and upgrade to Breeze's first class? Honey, they wanted to charge an additional like $332 for their quote unquote first class. And I was like, heck no. The extra legroom seat was significantly less for me to upgrade to that. So I just did the extra legroom because, y'all, the flight from Orlando to New Orleans is just around 2 hours. I don't need to, this is me, y'all. Listen, if your girl was balling hard, I would fly first class wherever I go. But considering that, you know, we try to be a little thoughtful, a little mindful of where we put our coins, I look at the length of my flight and is the value going to be worth it? And to me, I'm like, 2 hours, no, I'm good. And so I am going to actually, now that we're here, figure out, like, if I'm going to pick up any snacks or anything, y'all, now that I have my seat taken care of, so we're good to go there. And the gate that I'm in right now, I want to say that I've been in this gate before, Heffas, you and I together, but I'm looking around and I'm like, where is the Starbucks? So girly pop, I am in Terminal B, if I'm not mistaken, but I keep in mind too, at MCO, when you're flying, you have to pay attention to your terminal, of course, but then also what the gate number is. And I've been to Zaza, the coffee bar, and it's Cuban coffee, which Zaza is good. It's just the Cuban coffee is a little bit sweeter than what I would want right now. And so I was like, oh, maybe, you know, Heffas, y'all know what I like to drink when I am gearing up for my flights. I love to get that cortado from Starbucks. But I was looking around and I'm like, uh-oh. I'm like, I don't see a Starbucks here. And I'm like, maybe this particular terminal area doesn't have one, which is absolutely not the end of the world. I can go to Zaza. And low key, high key, I know that there's a lot of people who are pissed off at Starbucks right now. And I mentioned this in one of my other videos, but you got to do you. I am not going to be mad at your right to protest, and Starbucks should pay their workers what they're owed, give their workers plenty of hours, because the amount of nonsense that Starbucks baristas have to put up with to try to make that expensive a coffee for our enjoyment is insane. So they absolutely should get paid more. More in everything, all the things, for the experiences and just the level of care, and also just how busy Starbucks is and how fast they're trying to be. So I respect anyone's right to protest and boycott Starbucks. For me, I'm like, Starbucks is the closest to my house. Unfortunately, I don't live in the Pacific Northwest, where I have a myriad of options right up the street to me that's fast and convenient. But also when I'm at the airport, especially here in MCO, you're quite limited. It's Zaza and it's Starbucks. And I don't know, unless you go to like one of their table service restaurants, if there's any other options here. So you just got to do what you got to do. So y'all, I don't know that we're going to get our Java here, which is probably a sign of the good Lord telling me, save your calories for New Orleans, and I shall oblige. So I will check in with you, Heffas, when it is time to board our flight. All right, Heffas, so I was actually taking a quick look at the menu, and Zaza has a cortado on their menu, so I'm gonna go ahead and get into that. Y'all, let's go ahead and get our Java on, one of many, as we kick off this journey over to New Orleans. And at this particular Zaza, I'm gonna go ahead, stand in this line to order at the top, and then come around to then pay. So hopefully this won't take too long, but I got here with more than enough time to spare, so we're not in any rush. We're gonna sit here, look cute, and get our coffee on in just a few moments. And I want to call out too that Zaza has more than just coffee. So if you want a sandwich, if you want a pastry, they have a lot. And again, it's all in the spirit of Cuban flavors, Latin flavors. So keep that in mind. But they have a ton of options. You can see the pastry case right here, but then also their menu with like a rotation of what they're offering. Like you can even see the classic Cubano featured over to the right, pictured. So they have a lot of choices, and especially in this particular terminal, because there's actually not a lot available. But again, girl, I'm just here to make my caffeinated dreams come true. I'm going to save most of my calories for when we touch down in New Orleans. All right, friends, so we have our cortado from Zaza. And y'all, here's also another pro tip, and I believe I've talked about this in one of my other videos. If you can remember it, and if you also have space in your backpack, in your personal carry-on that you are taking on your flight, what I am trying to get in the habit of doing is just carrying an additional tumbler with me, y'all. So I have my little gold and green Stanley tumbler here. And y'all, this is like mostly style rather than style and substance. And also this is very lightweight. And this will keep my coffee drink hot for a little while. But y'all, let's be real. And we've never talked about like the tumbler wars. I think Stanley has beautiful tumbler options. Are they the best tumbler if you're looking for something to keep your drinks well insulated, whether that's to keep them cold for a certain period of time, or girl, whether that's to keep your drink hot for a period of time? Real talk, no. This is my opinion. And I'm, I guess, talking myself out of any type of brand deal with Stanley in the future. But my personal opinion when it comes to Stanley is that it is mostly style, less substance. If you want something that is really good at keeping your drink like hot or cold for hours, you either need to go Yeti, you need to go Owala, you need to go Hydro Flask. There are other tumblers that have been and are doing it better. It's just that the Stanley is a bit more stylish. And so what I like about this particular tumbler is that I did not pay full price for her. I want to say maybe I got her on sale, and this was like a long time ago. Maybe on Amazon, perhaps. I can't remember if it was Amazon or direct from the Stanley site itself. I want to say this was Amazon. So this was discounted on sale, and this is also very lightweight. Because y'all, I wanted to take, and if you are a coffee lover and you happen to miss the unboxing of the Green and Gold Goddess, my new and latest espresso machine from Ninja, check that out because this is reminding me so much of that. But y'all, Ninja, in addition to that boxing, gave me like a bundle deal as a part of the purchase. So this was not a sponsored video or anything. I'm not sponsored by anyone. Your girl's not monetized yet. But I wanted to take and try out the Ninja tumbler, but it's heavier, which is probably a good thing because that tells me that it's like very well insulated. This is super lightweight in comparison. And it's also a little bit bigger. And I was like, you know what? I just want something that's like a little bit smaller will be a bit more comfortable for me to just throw in my tumbler for this like fast flight. So y'all, I just decided to go ahead and take my mini Green and Gold Goddess with me on this trip. So you all know how we like to do things here at Java and Journeys. Cheers, Heffas. Thank you for joining me. Coffee number 1 en route to New Orleans. And y'all, it's good. She'll do. This is perfect for this flight. And I got my cortado. Great thing about Zaza, they'll ask you if you want your cortado with sugar, without sugar. I got mine without sugar because y'all, again, I just wanted that espresso hit because we're gonna really get into the coffee drinks and the good eats when we get into New Orleans. So Heffas, with that being said, if you can, take a little tumbler with you. It's great to just throw in your bag so that way you're not trying to carry a bunch of things or worrying about your drink spilling. So little pro tip from me to you, and I'll catch you all when it is time to board our flight. Friends, we have arrived to New Orleans. We are going to head to baggage claim to collect our luggage and head over to the hotel. Y'all, I wanted to talk more with you at the start of the flight just to share how the initial experience was. And y'all, I ended up having a seatmate And so, you know, I try not to be too weird if I am flying solo and I'm seated around people, depending on the space and what the vibe is like. But I'll tell you, at least stepping out of the airport here, the New Orleans airport, very airy and beautiful. And y'all, no issues overall getting here, which I'm thankful for. I was very comfortable on the flight. And it's funny because I was reminded of a couple things with Breeze. And this is something that, and drop down in the comments if you have flown Breeze before and if you've ever ran into these issues. Ooh, y'all. I see Cafe Du Monde. You all already know we're going to go to Cafe Du Monde. So I'm excited to see if it is legit or if it's a tourist trap. But here's a couple things about Breeze, pros and cons that I was reminded of. So number one, again, I shared this before the flight. Overall, Breeze is great. Like my seat, and I was seated in the extra legroom area, very comfortable. I actually didn't even need my neck pillow. And I was like, let me look down. You know, as we're chatting, I'll continue to show you the views. But it turned out that I didn't even need my neck pillow because the seat was quite comfortable. And I also appreciated the fact that on the plane, and I'll also show the footage here with you all, that they have a place to easily charge your phone directly in front of you where your seat is located. And I can't recall if all the seats are like this. So I don't know if the standard seats also have the same ease of charging, but I appreciated that. And that there's a place to put your cell phone, y'all. So you're not having to do some weird balancing act or feel like that you have to take an extra object with you. So that's all really nice. The one thing that gets me about Breeze, because I promise you all, this is every time, is though I've never had a Breeze flight canceled, there's always been some sort of delay. Like I've never actually left on time, but it's weird because I'll have moments where we leave late, but I still end up arriving on time. It's very odd that way. So drop down in the comments if you've flown Breeze before, let me know. So y'all, we were supposed to have left Orlando, like, I want to say that maybe it was like, I don't know, 10:15, something like that. And y'all, we ended up leaving like an hour later. And a lot of it was just because the flight, granted, it, you know, was there. It deplaned later than what it was supposed to. And so waiting for it to deplane, we finally loaded up. And at first I was sweating bullets because I was like, oh my gosh, there was a lot of families on the plane and, you know, dealing with screaming kids. But y'all, this is the beauty of having noise canceling headphones. If you can just splurge a little of your dollars, great investment, y'all. But in all honesty, there wasn't screaming children the whole flight. The kids were settled. Y'all, I actually even slept for a few moments. I didn't even think that I was going to sleep at all. But that's how like comfortable I felt pretty immediately. Y'all, let me see if I can find where I'm supposed to pick up my baggage. Actually, we made it to the right spot, so we're all good. So we're just waiting for the luggage to come out. So I'll continue to chit chat with you all. So yeah, I slept for probably about an hour of the flight, which is good. And so friends, what we're gonna do is we're gonna pick up our luggage and we're gonna head over to the hotel, and then we're gonna go ahead and go to Cochan Butcher. I am hungry, y'all. I am ready to get my eat on. And then I'm also ready to walk off that food and go to Vue Orleans. Hopefully that will be nice. And again, hopefully nothing that feels like a tourist trap, because this is my very first time being here in New Orleans, y'all. I literally looked up, like I said, this is a somewhat last minute booking because I actually have a good friend who's here for her birthday, and I am driving back to Nashville with her. So this is like a way for us to kind of connect and hang out And y'all, it's the new year. So when you have those moments, you realize that the older you get, the harder it is to spend time with the people that you love, with good friends, good family. And so having this opportunity to do a little mini road trip with one of my friends that I've known since I was in high school, which is kind of crazy. And, you know, going to high school in Chattanooga, Tennessee, being able to have that time with her is going to be really awesome. And then my mom lives in Nashville, so being able to spend a little bit of time with her, y'all, it's going to be a quick in and out because I'm flying back to Orlando Sunday. So this is actually a first for me, and this is something that I am hoping I can challenge myself within the new year. It's just taking quick trips and not feeling as if I have to block out like a whole week or 2 weeks worth of my time, that it's okay to just take a little extended weekend, and especially living in the South, like taking advantage of going to southern cities, especially this time of year, because it's typically cooler, right, than waiting till the summer. So I'm hoping also this year to work in a quick trip over to Savannah, Georgia. I used to go to Savannah a lot. But yeah, y'all, I'm trying to do things a little bit different this year because I wasn't sure if I was going to move forward with this because, again, last minute. But I'm like, you know what? It would be nice to have that kind of time with a friend.
Please come back to the Southwest Bag Service office.
Sean, you better go. But it's nice to be able to start the new year in that way because the older you get, the harder it is. You end up having kids, partners, obligations, work. So when you're able to fit in those moments, y'all, and if you have the luxury of time, I highly recommend take advantage. Sometimes you may not have to carve out a whole week with the people that you love or good friends. Maybe it's just a moment. Maybe it's a few hours. And that's okay. Because you just never know, right? Life happens. So, y'all, it looks like the luggage is finally coming out. We're going to pick up our bag and head over to the hotel and get our eat on. Hopefully we're able to check in a little bit early here, and if not, that's okay. I'm going to drop my bags off and we're going to go, honey, and get this party started. All right, Heffas, so we have made it from the airport to the hotel. I am staying at the Marriott that's located in the warehouse/arts district. So I chose this particular location because I just wanted something that was an easy walking distance to a lot of the places that I want to check out this evening. And what I also did not know, and I'm like, lo and behold, there is a bowl game, a college bowl game for those that may be unfamiliar that live outside the U.S. especially. Toward the end of a football season at most major universities and colleges, the top teams are invited to play in these things that we call bowl games. Y'all, I did not know that the Sugar Bowl was going on right now, and I believe my Uber driver was telling me that it's between Georgia and Ole Miss, which is going to be a massive game. Both teams have had great seasons this year. Not that I really keep up a lot with college football, but I know the good teams and the top-rated teams just because you hear a lot about it in the news. And this explains so much, y'all, because when I was trying to find a hotel, and again, this was like last minute, so many of the hotels were fully booked for today, and today is New Year's Day, January 1st. And I was like, well, maybe it's just because it's New Orleans. A lot of people are partying. A lot of people are just here hanging out for the holiday. And I'm like, okay, no, it's because there was a bowl game. Because my room was not like super cheap. to stay in tonight. And I was just like, but I just justified it and chalked it up to the fact that it's a holiday day. And there's a lot of people who are probably staying here through till probably like tomorrow, or even like earlier in the week. And then they'll be taking back off and going back to their respective homes. But y'all, it's a lot of it is also not just because of the holiday, but because there is a bowl game. And a lot of people are just in town for this game and then they're going to go back home. So there you go. So in my footage, as we walk around downtown, you're probably going to see a lot of people sporting their college colors, whether you go to Georgia, Ole Miss, or have some affiliations with those institutions, or if you're just a fan. So I'm like, okay, that makes a lot of sense. So y'all, I say all that to say that we made it here. It's all good. The Marriott is like very busy, honey. And even so much so that I just, I'm just here myself. So I had just gotten a king suite or not a suite. Y'all, let me back up. Let me back all the way up. A king room. I did not book a suite for just myself for one night. And the person checking me on was like, oh, the only room we have available right now is an accessible room. Are you okay with that? And I'm like, sure. So I just want to preface that because I don't want any of you all coming for me like, girl, why did you book the accessible room if it's just you? I did not book it. Marriott put me here. So don't come for me unless you have a check for me. Okay, Heffas? I'm going to do a very quick room tour. And y'all, because this is a standard room, there's not really a lot to look at. So here's the short hall. The bathroom is right off the front door. We have the sink here. Hey, Heffas. Toilet, towels, shower. Y'all, everything looks clean. I have stayed in Marriott's before, and Marriott's tend to be pretty good quality. You step out of here, and then this is just the main area, y'all. So I have my stuff over here. And we'll look at the view because I haven't actually paid attention to see if like the view's good or not. But y'all, this is it. So I'm only gonna be here for one night. The only thing I ever ask for is that my room is clean and that it's in a safe area. And I just opened up the closet door, y'all, but they do have, and let me open up the other side because I needed to get the luggage rack or the suitcase rack. So really this one should be here and that's here. But anyway, there is a safe and a drawer here, hangers, of course, some shelving. Y'all, I'm not gonna use any of this because typically when I pack, I put all my things in like packing cubes and I basically live out of my suitcase. I very rarely ever use the drawer. Sometimes you may catch me using the shelving, like if I'm traveling with my sister or if I'm traveling with my co-producer, AKA husband anywhere. Sometimes like for special needs, especially if we need to put away a suitcase so that way everything's not feeling so piled up, I will, take advantage of shelving in the closet. But because it's just me here, y'all, like I'll show you. I didn't even pack that much. Here we go. Like, y'all, this is how I keep it. I try to keep things very organized, everything in packing cubes, so that way I'm not scrambling, trying to search for things. I keep all my things together. And let's look at the view. I think it's just mostly, and I didn't pay extra, y'all. So, I mean, you see here, it's a cute little view. Very industrial. Let me pull this other side. Oh, y'all. Uh-oh. Kind of getting jammed right there. All right. Well, that's fine. I'm going to close this up, y'all, as soon as I walk out of here because it's probably going to be the evening time before I come back to my room or getting dark. So I typically, unless I have like a killer view, keep my curtains at a hotel like drawn. But yeah, y'all, it's not a bad view. I also didn't pay extra to have like a waterfront view or anything like that. Where this hotel is located is near the canal. I did not pay extra for that. So y'all, this is fine. So Heffas, we're here. I am just going to charge up my devices for the next like 15, 20 minutes. And then we're going to go ahead and head over to the Cochan Butcher to get our food on. And if it's not crazy, because again, I did not realize there was a bowl game. I spoke about Vue Orleans. So I'm hoping that we can go ahead, head over there as well, grab some Java and get a 360 view of New Orleans. Friends, I see Cochan Butcher straight ahead. Now, Heffas, I took a little bit of a detour because I actually met up with my friend who I was talking about. I met her, at the Four Seasons. You know how we like to be bougie adjacent over here. But now we are back on track and we're going to see what we can order at the butcher. Oh my gosh, y'all, look at all the meats. Sorry to my vegan and vegetarians, but honey, this is where it's at. Check out all the delicious sides that go with the meat that we just saw. We have our black-eyed peas for luck, braised cabbage for money. I know that's right. I should probably get like 2 or 3 of these. Ooh, y'all, look, they have some onion gravy, and then we have some desserts over here. So let's talk about the reality of the situation. So while I was at the airport, I talked about trying the muffaletta alongside the black-eyed pea chili, as well as the fried shrimp. Y'all, I just have this feeling, I'm like, I already know I'm not gonna be able to eat everything. And y'all, we have some beignets we need to try at Cafe Du Monde. We also have some coffee cocktails we're planning to get, as well as other Java related beverages. So y'all, we have to pace ourselves while we are here in New Orleans, and who knows what we have in terms of like dinner plans. So I just want to make sure that we're pacing ourselves accordingly. But I have never had black-eyed pea chili, and I am looking forward to some Louisiana fried shrimp, because how can you be in New Orleans and not get any seafood? So friends, we're going to wait for our food to come out. We have our table, so I'll check back in with you as soon as our order arrives. All right, Heffas, our food has come out and it looks so good. So check this out. Here is our black bean chili with some cornbread. And then we also have our Louisiana fried shrimp. Yo, all this looks so good. And I'm like, this is the perfect portion. If I had friends with me, if my co-producer was with me, y'all, I definitely would have gotten muffaletta. I also would have wanted to try maybe a couple other items. They have that charcuterie, and you know your girl loves a good charcuterie. But y'all, we just got to keep it real and like treat ourselves right, because I'm not about to overeat and be sick the rest of the time that we're here. And also I want to show you all, because I'm going to try this out too. Do we have hot sauce in our bag swag in 2026? We absolutely do, especially here at Cochan. They have a sweet potato habanero hot sauce, as well as a galactic edition hot sauce. So y'all, I'm gonna try these out as well. Girl, let's start our little culinary journey out with this black-eyed pea chili, because we need the black-eyed peas for good luck to start the year off right. Check that out. Do you see that steam action? Baby, this is hot. This is not something that's just been sitting out all day, okay? Let's get into it. Y'all, this is wild. I have to take another bite of this. I just never would have thought to put black-eyed peas in chili. Y'all, this is good. The chili has great texture. I just never, like in my wildest dreams, never would have thought about rocking. I may have to ask. So my co-producer makes a mean chili. Now his is a little bit more tomatoey. So I want to point that out. Now, this feels like a chili that would be perfect for like a hot dog. I like my chili more on the, if I'm just going to consume it like a soup, to be a bit on the tomatoey side, which is like what my co-producer was. But y'all, this is delicious. And I'm gonna add some of that hot sauce to it if I feel like the hot sauce complements it well. Let's try this cornbread. Oh yeah, the cornbread is good. I'm gonna dip it in this chili, because y'all, That's how we have to do this. This is the only way to do this, right? Can we cheers with some black eyed peas and cornbread? We absolutely can. Cheers, Heffas. This is solid. And it's perfect for this weather right now. Cajun, New Orleans. Typically hot and humid. But right now, it's actually mild. Let me tell you something, honey. Not that I'm an expert, this is my first time here, but the best time to come to the South, if you have the flexibility and the luxury of time, plan your visits, and I've said this before, especially when it comes to Orlando, if you can plan it for like the winter season, that's the best time to be here. Because it's not super hot, it's not super humid. You will have some hot days. It's not gonna be frigid cold. I mean, there's some cold snaps that happen, and I don't know how frequent cold snaps happen in New Orleans, but I know in Florida, like right now, I think just like the past couple of days, it's been in like the 40s, 50s, and for Florida, that's really cold. But y'all, I love it. I know you're like, y'all, can you please shut up and like try the shrimp? Okay. So before I take the lemon and I sprinkle it onto the shrimp, y'all check, this just looks so crispy. And before we dip it in any sauce, put our lemon on it, let's just try it as is. Oh, that's so delicious. I love shrimp. All right, now, Heffas, let's get into some lemon action here. Y'all, what I really need on this plate, I need some catfish. Forget the muffletta, although maybe a muffletta will be in our future. But like a piece of catfish with this would just be excellent. All right, we're gonna try it with this like sauce here. Look at that, y'all. Y'all, that sauce, a great spice. Shout out to Cochan for using the seasonings, because there is nothing worse than bland fried anything. Because if you're going to take in the calories, it's like, can you please make it worth my while? Now I'm going to break open these hot sauces. I'm going to start with that sweet potato habanero hot sauce, because I've never had anything remotely like that as like the base being sweet potato. Let's try that out. So y'all see this here. And I'm gonna just put it on the side and just try to get an idea of the flavor before we sprinkle it and douse it on everything. In all honesty, let's go ahead and break out some of the other hot sauce. Let me just move this one out the way, because that makes the most sense. So let me get the other one. So we have our sweet potato here, our standard hot sauce here. Let's try it with the shrimp first. I'm gonna try that sweet potato. That is wild. I just can't believe that works, y'all. So what I taste sweet potato, I taste vinegar, I taste the habanero. It has a nice kick, but what I love about it is that it's not so spicy to where I couldn't eat or consume more of that. I'm actually putting my shrimp back in this. Yeah. Yo, that's solid. Let's try the standard hot sauce and again with another piece of our shrimp. Okay. All right, y'all, let's see how good she is. And you can, like, sorry, I'm talking with my mouth full, but you taste that vinegar. You taste the spices. And that one is going to be more of your traditional hot sauce, but a vinegar-based hot sauce. Which I love the vinegar-based hot sauces, and it's actually not a flavor because most of the hot sauce I get is not vinegar-based, so to have that, so based off tasting both, though, that sweet potato habanero is good. The Galactic Edition, that is going to, for me, taste the best with the shrimp and with our chili. So Heffas, I'm gonna go ahead and continue to enjoy this. And then baby, we're gonna walk off those calories. We're gonna head over to Vue. And while the sun is still up, get a really nice look at the city and hopefully get a Java while we enjoy our time here in New Orleans. All right, friends, this is so funny because I was literally just here having that quick lunch with my good friend and some of her friends, and I did not realize that Vue Orleans was actually at the very top floor of the Four Seasons, which is pretty awesome. So again, y'all, the walk is really nice, especially because there's a good breeze, the weather is mild. So all of this is in walking distance in terms of where I'm staying, which again is the Marriott located in the warehouse district / arts district. So just to kind of give you a proximity of where I'm at right now, there is a Caesar's Palace, and the Four Seasons is located directly across from Caesar's. And we are going to go to the top of that observation deck and get some Java, or if they have an interesting cocktail, we'll try that too, honey. So let's go ahead, head back into Four Seasons and get into Vue, and I will show you all some of the interactive experiences, as well as hopefully if the cafe is still open, because they are closing early today for New Year's Day. If the cafe is still open, you already know that we are going to get our Java on. Okay, y'all, so just another pro tip. If you decide that you would like to participate in an experience like this, so you actually don't go in the main entrance of the hotel lobby of the Four Seasons, I asked one of the staff who was standing outside, and so essentially the entrance for Vue is going to be like around the back end of the building, so we're going to go ahead and head that direction. All right, friends, so that was a very quick walk. So literally just go around toward the back side of the building and you will see Vue. So we're gonna go ahead, get our ticket and head on up. All right, friends, ooh, the flyaways, y'all. because it is windy outside. But what's really great about this attraction is that it does have some visual experiences before you make your way all the way up to the top of the observation deck. So I'm going to take a look around. I'll show you all some of the scenes, and then as a part of the type of ticket that I purchased, it also includes a beverage. So I am hoping, y'all, that we can use that for a good old coffee cocktail that is going to be located at their cafe and bar on the 34th floor. But for now, we're going to go ahead and just check out some of the highlights of the experience on the second level before we go ahead and head on up. And I'll show you all highlights. I hope you all enjoy. Friends, we have now made it from the museum level up to the observation deck, and the sun is starting to set and it's absolutely beautiful. So I hope you all enjoy some of the highlights of what the view looks like from the view. All right, friends, what did you think of the views? Absolutely breathtaking, right, y'all? So gorgeous. And before the sun completely sets, I'm like, let's go ahead and head up to the cafe and rooftop bar and get a little bit of Java going in our lives. So let's also see what options we get with our drink that came with the purchase of our ticket. All right, y'all, so we have our classic mint julep. Let's go ahead and step outside and catch up and have a chat while the sun is setting on the rooftop bar. Y'all, look how beautiful this all looks. And y'all, we're just gonna continue to walk. We are going to walk and talk, baby. And y'all, though it is starting to get a little chilly, I am feeling good. Like, this is just so nice considering how hot it can get in Florida. Y'all, is this not beautiful? And everyone's just enjoying themselves. And this is, I highly recommend y'all this experience, especially if you can come at sunset, because I mean, the views, honey. And our hair is just flying up all over the place. And y'all, so I went ahead and decided to go with the mint julep. I saw the chicory coffee, but the reason why I did not go for it is because your girl is gonna head over to Cafe Du Monde, so keep watching because I wanna see if it's giving everything that gives me the spirit of New Orleans, or is it overhyped? Is it a tourist trap? So we're gonna find out together. So for now, let's just enjoy our mint julep with fresh mint and whiskey. Cheers. Thank you for joining me on this adventure. Ooh, y'all, listen, she is strong. Let me tell you, the view was like, we're gonna give you your money's worth. Don't you even worry. Don't you even worry. So I'll tell you all right now, in terms of the cost and the expense for the attraction, honestly, I am okay with the cost of the $35 combination ticket, which is what I went for. Now, they also have a standard admission, which I think was $10 less. But y'all, the reason why I did is because it includes a drink. I wanted to, truly feel the vibes of New Orleans, having my little mint julep, walking around, enjoying the view, and as well as they had the interactive museum experience. And so I personally feel like this is a great value, honestly, for me getting this drink and having the experiences, learning a thing or two while enjoying the view. Heffas, with that being said, don't forget to like, subscribe, share. Continue watching on our New Orleans adventure as we get into the coffee portion. Oh, and also, before I completely sign off, y'all, when we talk about our food experience at Cochan, I recognize that I did not rank that out of Heffas because typically you know how I'll rank all the restaurants. Y'all, I would give it a solid 3.5 for Heffas, so somewhere in between that. The food was really good. Y'all, I just wish I could have tried more things. This is not a dig on the restaurant, but it's like, I wish I could have just gotten into the charcuterie. I wish I could have tried the muffletta. I wish I could have tried more things on the menu because I feel like what I had, though it was good, I feel like some of those other dishes probably would have given us even more of that Louisiana vibe that we're looking for, especially as it relates to Cochan and what they have. So y'all, I'm definitely looking forward to another visit some other day, and maybe even with having like a friend or two join me so that way I can try more food, but I wanted to pace myself here. So with that being said, Heffas, keep on watching. I'm looking forward to our next caffeinated adventure here in New Orleans. I'll see ya on the next journey. Bye.